Hey guys, Jesse from Fuller Strength and Conditioning here, back at Fuller SCHQ. I want to do a quick little video. This topic came to mind just as I was leaving the gym this evening after a session, and it's something I've talked about a little bit, and it was basically just a little bit of a joke in passing with a couple of guys that I was training down at the gym. So one of them is a new client coming in for some personal training. He's done some outdoor work with me in the past. The other one's been training quite regularly with me, seeing great results with fat loss and also increasing his lean muscle mass. So the comment was basically after one of the guys said, "What do you do after you finish?" So let's say it's a 6-week block of training. You go back to eating normal, or you just go back to your regular habits and things like that. And the other one's like, "Nah, why would you do that?" Basically, you end up just ruining all those results that you've created. So the topic that I want to try and get across to you guys is that diets where you specifically allocate a block of time, whether it be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, isn't the best way to go about it long term. So this is regardless, or it's more or less for body fat or trying to lose body weight. The reason that I think diets suck is that it doesn't teach you anything long term. For a diet to be successful, it needs to last long term. Okay, so that means it needs to last longer than 6 weeks, longer than 8 weeks, longer than 12 weeks. It needs to last 6 years, 8 years, 12 years. It needs to last over a much longer period of time. Okay, so that's the concept that diets suck. Okay, and one thing we always try to promote at Fuller Strength and Conditioning is longevity. Okay, and we use this via the intersection of 3 goals. So when we look at progress, we look at 3 different things. We look at improving performance, improving body composition, and also improving health. So we try not to deviate too much towards one of those areas because it can compromise one or 2 of the other goals that we're trying to associate with. When you do the whole diet thing, it doesn't take into account that 3-pronged approach. Basically, the focus is on weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, and then after a period of time, it's not going to be sustainable because your focus has been on putting all your effort into a 6, 8, 12-week block, whatever it is. Okay. Another reason that diets don't work is that essentially, if it is a diet per se, where you get a meal plan given to you, spoon-fed to you, once again, it doesn't teach you anything. It means you can follow instructions on a piece of paper, but what are you going to do after that block of time's finished? Okay. So if you're watching this live, I would love to hear your thoughts on the topic. If you've done a diet in the past and it's been successful and you've kept it off, or maybe you've done the yo-yo where you've decreased body fat or weight, it's gone back on, and you've sort of gone up and down through a few stages. So if you are watching this video live, I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts on it, if you're pro diet or if you're con, and also the reasoning behind it. Or if you're there, just give us a shout out, say hello. But those are our main views on the diet. We don't prescribe meal plans. We won't. Our method of progress and teaching is for longevity. You are much better off losing 1/2 to 1 kilo of body weight per week over the long term rather than losing, say, let's say 10 kilos in 2 weeks. Because more than likely that trend isn't going to be sustainable. You're not going to be able to keep up that weight loss. And once again, what are you going to do once that block of time's up? It's one of those things that you really do need to take into account. Are you in it for the short term, or are you in it for the long term? Okay. If you've been on if you've been on the weight loss journey before, and maybe you're back to where you started, or even further back, then my suggestion and my advice to you would be to work on the slow and steady approach, which means 0.5 to 1 kilo of body weight per week. If you can manage that after 8 weeks, that's a decrease between 4 and 8 kilos. That is much more sustainable and much more repeatable than, say, losing that 10 kilos in 2 weeks, or those big numbers you hear, like even on The Biggest Loser. These contestants, they get put through a rigorous training program, a really restricted calorie diet, and then, like you hear, unfortunately, a lot of them rebound back the other way. They lose that mass amount of weight, and then they put it back on, and sometimes they even put more on than when they started, which is really unfortunate because their heart's in the right place. It's just maybe their approach is a little bit off. So if you have any questions on this topic or subject, guys, that you would like us to cover, please comment below if you're watching live, or if you're watching the replay as well. Put a comment on there and we'll get back to you, and we'll give you our sort of thoughts and the best sort of way that you can attack where you're currently at. Maybe you've hit a bit of a plateau, you've lost weight, and then you're sort of stagnating. If you want a bit of advice on how to get past that that bit of a hump and lose a little bit more, let us know. Or if you think you have some advice that someone else could benefit from, absolutely comment below as well, and that way people who are watching this information can learn something from it as well. So the reason I say that is because there's no hard and fast rule when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. You've probably seen it, there's many different types of diets that have been proven that work, and the reason that works is because there's different things that work with different people. Obviously, there's going to be a few different criteria that need to be met for this to occur. So basically, we need a negative energy balance or a calorie deficit, plus a whole host of other things, which is detailed in another one of our videos. But different things work for different people. So you may have found using a paleo diet has worked for you. That may or may not work for someone else. You may have found an intermittent fasting style diet work for you. That may or may not work for someone else as well. So give us your comments as well, guys. We'd love to hear from you. Everyone's had a different experience and everyone has different goals that they'd like to achieve, but that's our thoughts on ours. We want something that is sustainable, and we'd like it to last long term. We don't want this short fix. We want this long term approach where you know how to lose weight and keep it off for good. Okay, that's all we wanted to share today, guys. Diets suck. Focus on long term goals. If you can lose that 0.5 to 1 kilos worth of body weight per week, you are much more likely to keep it off long term than if you were to drop a big chunk of weight in a short block of time. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. We really hope you got something out of this video. If you haven't already, make sure you like our Facebook page and tag a friend in it if you enjoy this information and you know someone who else could benefit from it as well. Okay, until next time, train hard. Bye-bye.